do it. So, like I said, Stronghold, I mean, predictions for Stronghold.
No, don't predict.
Don't predict. It's
just save your dignity. We're not going to make predictions. We're just going to jump right into the
okay.
ban and protects.
Thank you,
you know, we kind of had it in S&D where, or at least I kind of figured that eLevate was able to win it. You know, the MR6 was there. Their sniper was there. The S&D game did just not pan out. Of course, the previous game, you know, even right there, the MR6 is just going to get auto-banned from the players on DT. I was going to see if that was going to be the case or not, and that's exactly what happens. But after that, that's when the standard things kind of came in. It's that Nagafen fear of his trigger finger, and then after that, you know, high caliber is going to go. Overclock we're probably going to see go again because an interesting one would actually be anti-up. Diabolic was rocking anti-up in the hard point because we know how powerful the streaks can be, especially in CTF.
Oh, yeah.
You know, can you just imagine Zuma with that Cerberus hanging out behind 2 trophy systems in overtime, and then there's literally nothing that can be done. That is like a guaranteed win. So any of these players, if they're rocking that perk, potentially get to those streaks faster, that could always be a game changer.
It could indeed, and obviously you're going to see Overdrive be taken out of the game up to this point. Some pretty other standard stuff. Like I said, when it comes to Overdrive, when it comes to some of these specialist abilities, so important when it comes to the Flag Runner, which is what most of these are kind of based on. Kinetic Armor going to be shut down as well, and also active camo. When it comes to Stronghold, these more snowy maps, you know, something like Stronghold, something like Infection, it's a lot harder to see these guys when it comes to kind of being basically camoed off the map. So you're going to see a lot of these specialist abilities be taken off the start. Straight bans at this point. It looks like Perk 3 Greed going to be shut down. What does this mean, Chance? I know you know everything. So
that means Revan just shed a single tear. He's been like obsessing over this Perk 3 Greed. But essentially what that means in CTF, the biggest 3 perks you have in the Perk 3 slot are going to be Blast Suppressor, Dead Silence, and Tac Mask.
Right.
Now, if you notice, I actually didn't catch that last ban. It was the Concussion. That means flashes are still going to be in.
Yep.
But the Tac Mask, something to look out for, of course, is going to be the flashes now in this specific game. But a lot of players obviously like to run Blast Suppressor just because if you're giving away your ping every single time you slide, which, by the way, pros are sliding constantly. It's the fastest way to move across the map. That can be devastating. So now they are forced to make the decision.
Of which one?
Like, you pretty much have to go Blast Suppressor, right? But now that means you can get Sound Horde out when these players aren't going to have Dead Silence. Or do they kind of make the conversion and just accept it? Hey, we're going to use Dead Silence. That way we can still wall run, but we're going to sacrifice our sliding abilities, or at least when we're going for those sneaks.
Exactly, and obviously a major talk about the Ban and Protects. We'll obviously hop now into the Specialist Draft. Taking a look over at DT, we're going to see the Scythe, Annihilator, Heatwave, and Vision Pulse. That Vision Pulse is obviously going to come from Happy. And as far as the Elevate side for Specialists, we're going to see Cinto with the Scythe, Remy with the Annihilator, Heatwave coming in from Aqua, and Nagafen yet again coming in with the Vision Pulse. So pretty similar stuff off the break, as I believe basically mirroring one another as straight down the board. You're obviously going to see, you know, straight lines across the side, so therefore either side is they're going to have the exact same specialists coming in to this next game. I'm not going to call predictions, obviously, here, Chance, but who are you? Okay, this is not a prediction.
Diabolic.
What? Diabolic.
Ask your question. Sorry.
I'm just asking you, who do you think this game type in general normally favors?
Well, it's 50-50, right? You even read the stats from the CWL. They're very close to even. So it all comes down to who can make the bigger plays. That can just be timing with a good specialist. Like, you know, a player jumps in, Heatwaves one guy, well, he gets Heatwave back. The second guy just gets the better timing on that engagement. So it's going to come down to the details, or if one player is able to put together a string of kills to get streaks. I think that's something we saw John do earlier. John had a massive start on this exact same map, actually. Pulled the flag, got a bunch of kills, got his streaks early on, and he got the first flag cap for his team. Then any other time his opponent started pulling the flag, that's when he brought in the streak. So John, because of one single play, was able to control pretty much the entire game. So any player on this map is going to be capable of doing something like that. But just in terms of players to look for, Diabolic has been having a very nice series. Chino has had quite a few shining moments as well. So those are the 2 players that I'm looking for to continue the carnage for DT. And again, someone for eLevate is just going to need to step up. They've had moments where collectively as a team, they just begin to destroy, but someone is going to have to start making plays.
Yeah, it's still going to be obviously that main AR kind of sitting in the back, and it's going to rely on the side of Remy, Aqua, and Nagafen and kind of be grabbing those flags, provide a little bit of control. And obviously, we've seen so far in CTF, it's all about protecting your flag carrier. Once you have that flag out, being able to kind of protect him, being able to watch over him and make sure that he has a smooth ride home to fire away in those CTF moments. And I know you've talked about countless times, you know, having that first flag always kind of sets the tone for the game. It's not about, I mean, in some cases, obviously, tell you in, but that first flag really kind of defines what exactly and how this game is going to kind of play out.
Another thing that's a little bit problematic, that not only do you have to protect the flag carrier, but because teams generally play defensively when they know that there's going to be enemies in their base, you kind of have to send, at least 3 people to go and attack that flag. And so as soon as you get those kills and pull the flag, now you have to go back and cover all of the cuts, right? But now you kill the players, they're going to spawn out. So they're going to get to those cuts quicker than you. So the timing has to be absolutely perfect when you get these flags out, because I think we've seen it time and time again so far today. Whichever team touches the flag first, their enemy normally is able to get away with a counter pull or counter cap. So, again, if you go for that flag earlier on, if you're playing aggressive, you have to be absolutely on point or you will pay the price.
You will indeed, and obviously having control of bunker is going to be a big deal here, as well as we head into the first side. First 5 minutes, going to go and knock them up on the board as co-players dropping early on from the side of DT. Still coming up from Happy, it's just not going to work out too much for me getting able to accept the repercussions of exactly what happened there. But an early push coming out of eLevate, they might actually have a little bit of a pinch coming on as DT kind of turning back in their base. It's going to be basically a 3-on-3 situation when it comes to this. Who's going to win the gunfights, and can eLevate get this flag out early?
Well, eLevate putting all the pressure into the base of DT. They're going to have to win some gunfights. You see Remy just going to back up because there are 4 players right now for a DT kind of surrounding over by this mansion area, and Remy right now is just going to be sitting on the other side of the wall, able to not pick up that kill. Dive ball going to shut him down, and all the pressure that eLevate had is pretty much going to get nullified instantaneously. Of course, Nagafen was able to pick up 1 kill coming through bunker, but still they know exactly where he is. He's going to have to win 1 more gunfight before he can even begin to think about touching this flag, and Nagafen pretty much is in La La Land. His teammates are all the way across the map, and as we saw with that perk 3 ban, they have to choose between blast suppressor, tac mask, and dead silence, and so far no one has been using tac.
Exactly, and we'll see how that kind of translates as the game moves forward. Still going to be toward middle, is able to drop someone off the break there as well. Is going to make sure that no one is actually going to be in his base. Make sure that no one is going to be even near that flag. He's going to try to stack on a little bit of score streaks. And obviously we talk about, being able to stay back in your base. You want to have at least one player who's constantly moving on. Have that player who's, sitting at like, I guess like a 5-1, 6-1. You want to have a positive start. Want to be able to use those score streaks effectively. And obviously having a player kind of anchor is going to be very, very important. So it looks like eLevate kind of leading as far as Slang goes off the break as they've kind of pushed their way forward. But DT responding back, and this might be a little bit of a push coming out from DT, but off the break, we are going to be on board with Chino. There's going to be a player just off to the right here inside of control. He's not going to spot this player off the start. Switching over to Vicento as well. He's going to be right behind this player. I don't know if he knows this as of yet. Teammate going to possibly call it out, and he's going to drop as well. So 2 players down for DT as this can remains, early map control, wanting to kind of face that first wave of players. And when it comes down to moving forward, is facing that second wave off of the respawn. And
something I think we have to give the players credit for more is you see Vicento actually went to make sure to put on that tac mask. So we saw it a lot in the search and destroy. These teams and players are making these switches of their classes constantly throughout the match, constantly making these small adjustments just to get every advantage possible. Of course, Vicento, we talked about the importance of streaks. He's on a 4 streak right now. He's going to be able to make it 5, wins the gunfight against Chino, and of course that's 2 down in favor of eLevate. And don't kill your teammate, Vicento. I know kills are important, not in this regard, but still eLevate pushing up for control. Nagafen continuing to get kills. Aqua wins that gunfight. All the players for DT are going to be spawning in bunker. Vicento has those cuts. This is going to be a flag pull. Aqua had 1 player to beat. That was Diabolic. He's successful, and this is the first one. And more importantly right now for eLevate, you have Nagafen that should be getting these cuts, but still they're a little bit slow on getting these flags out. Vicento going to have at least 1 gunfight to win. Well, takes down Happy, and it looks like that is going to be very huge as Aqua now is free and clear. He's getting shot in the back. He's actually going to pause for just a moment, but he should be able to get this flag in unless I'm crazy, and that's going to be the case. Waited for Nagafen to pick up 2, but that is successful, and again, Nagafen was the clutch player, to make sure he was able to get the cutoff.
That's fantastic plays from Aqua. Be able to run the flag and also finding some massive kills when it came to being inside of Dream Team's bases. It was kind of a team effort when it comes to CTF and eLevate using and being a great example of such things. As it will be DT kind of turtling back in their bases, eLevate being just as aggressive as they were in the beginning, and Aqua kind of realizing and getting the call that, hey, we might be able to push this one out. There's going to be 1 player inside of middle toward that dinner table. He's going to go on back up just a little bit here as eLevate trying to recap yet again as 1 minute left, obviously, in this first side.
Yeah, and it was kind of crazy just to look at the streaks of all the players for eLevate. As you can see, Nagafen being sneaky once again. But collectively, Vicento was on a 7 streak, Nagafen went on a 5, Aqua went on a 4, and at the time, Remy had like a 2-kill streak as well. They were doing all of that destruction collectively, all just to get 1 flag cap. So you can see just how difficult it can be at times just to get these flags in. But of course now DT playing on the offensive. You see Vicento for the defensive side of things, pulled out the scythe, trying to lock it down. And of course, he's just being a bit of a nuisance. The two players from DT hanging out over by that satellite area, but they can't push forward.
That's a great play out of Vicento. You know, realizing that, hey, these DT players are pushing up. I got to use my scythe now because obviously I'm at a disadvantage. You know, being able to use that, especially on kind of a head glitch, and obviously him having a great start off the beginning kind of set him up for that role. And you know, things kind of were, you know, going on in the middle of the game end up affecting the latter parts of the game as well. As Aqua able to take out one, probably doesn't have time to get this flag out. He ends up dropping in the end, but still is going to have that lightning strike in his back pocket. Also Heat Wave when it comes to that second side. So obviously these players are going to keep their streaks, keep their specialists going, as obviously we do end the first side 1-0 in favor of eLevate.
And again, that one flag, it took about 12 kills in a row
really
coming out from eLevate to make that happen. And granted, they were being methodical with it. You know, they got the first wave of kills. They made sure they set up over by bunker, got the next wave of kills, were making moves. Nagafen setting up, getting the cutoffs. Vicento was winning some gunfights as well, hunting Happy down over by Rocks. But they took their time with it. They made it happen, and they pretty much systematically played that one flag pull perfectly. But, you know, one flag touch in this entire game so far, one flag pull. Going to see if this second side is going to be a bit more active. And you can see DT just right off the bat, it looks like they're going to be coming with the aggression as they are spread completely across the map. All four players for DT just set up right at that 50-yard line, all spread across the board. And Happy wins that first one. Chino's pushing up mid with that side. He's actually got two players up top. And
see, I'm not a fan of, I mean, like off the break, Chino does pull up that, as you know, as Ford obviously go down for DT, but he has so much time to, like, once he sees a player, then you pull out the scythe. You know, he kind of used it a little bit early, kind of wasted it essentially. I mean, they get that flag out, he sits toward middle, and he's able to kind of rain down players essentially. Is Aqua able to find 3 players, as well as actually Jimmy Remy able to find the second, but either way, a great play there out of the side is eLevate, as they're going to have 3 players down. It looks like Nagavan on the run with that flag. Can he get stopped? Aqua able to trade in the end with the kills, and it looks like DT on the run to possibly stop this flag, and Nagavan is going to have to make the run of his life to get this one through.
Well, you see the cutoffs have been taken in, and that is pretty much a perfect play. You see Vicento is actually that player hanging over by bunker, locking that down. But what we saw eLevate do, they got a perfect clean forward down. They immediately had one player run back to their base just so he could get the cutoff, the overextension through bunker. He came back and sat down. The other 3 players pushed up through rocks and immediately called the score streaks. They knew where those players were spawning. The Lightning picked up 2, Remy picked up the 3rd, and that is another perfect flag pull and clap coming out of eLevate. But that's picture perfect. We're definitely going to have to go back and look at that one again.
Well, indeed, it looks like the specialist coming out from Remy trying to hold off inside of his base. Looks like DT can have a little bit of a momentum boost here as that flag has been taken. Aqua needs to shut down this guy, and he's able to do so. So Chino shut down. Can he find another kill? No, it's not going to happen. So Nagavan going to be in the complete opposite side of the map, and now Remy off of spawn is going to try to find this flag runner, but Cinder with the flag in hand is also going to have that Annihilator, and he's going to make his way a little bit with the flag just in general. And it looks like both these things get ready to come in. Cinder might have a free run to his flag as that flag has been read, and it will finally be DT getting on the board.
And he's going to be able to get his dart as well. Not only did he get those 2 Annihilator kills, he got them with the flag in hand. So all of the score bonuses he could possibly have, with the exception of having combat focus, he was able to get there. So DT on the board. If he gets another 25, he gets the lightning strike. The lightning strike, obviously the score streaks can be a game changer, but still 2 minutes and 37 seconds to work with. It seems like a lot of time in CTF. It seems like it's a lot less though, when you can see eLevate able to get 2 kills. So Cinder gonna have to return to his base. Got a guy pulling the flag as well. Cinder needs to win the gunfight. He's just going to escape with his life, but eLevate making moves with his flag once again, and every single time they've touched it so far, it's resulted in a catch.
Yes, indeed. Aqua making his way through. It looks like those lightning strikes also coming into effect. It's not really going to work out too much. And this should be another easy flag in from eLevate. So a nice respawn there coming out of them, as they're going to have only 2 minutes remaining in this game. Can eLevate respond and obviously tie the series up at 2 apiece? That's going to be the major question. And Remy absolutely destroying Diabolic inside of bottom control. And that's going to be basically the story of what this game has been up to this point, is that's going to equal up to a great opportunity for Nagavan to most likely run this flag through it yet again. This could be a possible 4-1, as Aqua also watching that cutoff inside a bunker.
Well, he's going to spot that player as well, has the heat wave pumped up and ready to go. And again, every single time eLevate touches the flag, they're perfect with it. You just see how quickly they are able to set up those cutoffs. They always have one player immediately go to bunker, the others go to mid-cut, and it really is picture perfect. They are putting on an absolute clinic of, I'm assuming, one of the best, if not the perfect way to play Stronghold CTF.
Absolutely. Look at Aqua, 17-9. That's not something you're always going to see, as well as Nagavan, really. 16-9, and Vicento 14-8. Just an absolute dominant performance when it comes to slaying, and all of those kills really just come in whenever they're running that flag, just like that. I mean, these flag runners are just doing an absolutely fantastic job. And it looks like streaks coming in from Aqua very shortly, only 250 points away from his possible raise, which can come in, which would be very deadly. Just insult to injury, kills going in left and right, and possibly here in just a minute as Aqua going to use that heat wave, drops it, to get another one. And obviously he does end up dropping, but just in general, that was a fantastic play. You can definitely see the slang advantage when it comes to CTF, without a doubt favors the guys over on eLevate.
Oh, yeah, the only time that they touch the flag that they don't get the cap in, they get a Wraith instead, which honestly, at that point, I'd prefer to have the Wraith. Like, it's well worth it. Aqua could have ran away. He was like, you know what, I have the Heat Wave, might as well have a little bit of fun with it, run up the score as much as possible. Right now, he's tied with his teammate Nagafen for most kills in the lobby at 20, but he's got the Wraith, he called him the Lightning Strike, he's got the Hellstorm. Now he's trying to edge him out. Nagafen picks up a kill as well, though. It's going to be the hunt for who can get more. And again, just for an idea of how much of a difference there was between these two teams, you got -4 for Chino, -10, -12 or something like that, -5, just across the board on both teams. Completely dominating performance. You know, eLevate or TR, whoever they were incredible at uplink. They were one of the first teams to progress through that and figure the game mode out. It looks like now CTF, maybe they have this one figured out before everybody else.
They do indeed. It looks like a little bit of hypeness. Not really any
No,
hypeness.
no,
I mean, I was kind of hoping that maybe one of them would just jump up and be like, yeah, we just won that game. But another day at the office, obviously, for the side of eLevate. Final kill cam coming in from Jacinto with that scythe. Nice job there out of him as he was one of the main leading slayers for that roster. As obviously it is eLevate walking away with the W in this game, number 4. It is currently obviously tied up at 2 apiece as we get ready to head to our next map. And, I mean,